americasvoice.news and make sure you download the America's Voice app on your Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire device. You can also watch America's Voice on the Dish Network, Channel 219, americasvoice.news.
In a world where quality business information is needed, we bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, daily at 1 p.m. on WJFN 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and 820 AM as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike at 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily social enterprise business show in RVA. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with us. The views expressed here are mine, have no connection to, support of, or agreement with any other host, advertisement, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. I just appreciate my program airing here on a daily basis. So, let me see. The sounds you're listening to are emanating from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. Join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA in a different way. We'd just like to thank our show sponsor, which is Tom Childry, the credit card guy. He is out there providing credit card merchant services for everyone. So if you have credit card merchant service issues or you'd like to streamline your process, please contact Tom Childry. Joining us today, as always, is the super producer, Al Green, who's on the wheels of steel, and he can be reached by calling 804-778-8888. On the Mic with Mike highlights partnerships, people, social enterprise business, and uplifts the community. So to get more information about the show, you can follow us on the Mic with Mike RVA. Along the way, folks, we do have to pay some bills. The microphone isn't free, plus my grandkids do need stuff. And that's the statement from my wife that I'm obliged to read on a daily basis. So, on the Mic with Mike, we bring you the best and brightest here in the Richmond area. We're here daily with you on WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. It is the place where the game changers come. Today's program is an outstanding one. Sorry, we have Jay Carpenter of the Fahrenheit Advisors, but he's here for that, but he's also here because he has a really cool a venture that's going on. I guess he's a watchmaker. He's a watchmaker, and we're here to bring the information to you because that's what we do, letting you know who's out there and doing some really cool things. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we will have Katina Moss, Educator, and a lady who has her finger on the pulse of what's going on in Richmond from a cultural perspective. But without further ado, we bring to you Jay. Jay, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Fahrenheit, and then we'll move over to the watch, because I'm a watch guy.
Yeah, see the piece.
Yeah, well, I knew you were coming, so I had to try and pull out something a little special. Tell us about Fahrenheit, please.
Yeah, Fahrenheit Advisors, they've been great. It's a lower middle market advisory firm. We do everything from fractional project, interim finance and accounting, executive search, strategy, over in Scott's Addition. Operate mostly here in Central Virginia. We have offices in Raleigh, out in Phoenix, and Charlottesville, so we can do it all.
You guys are really big into the community. I know your community involvement is very strong. Talk a little bit about Fahrenheit and the support of the community that you guys offer.
Yeah, it's Keith and Rich, Keith Middleton, Rich Ronick are the patriarchs, and been there over 6 years now, and from jump have one of our pillars is community, and every year they do just go above and beyond in terms of support, both financially and hours dedicated to volunteerism for a lot of different causes, but that's one of the things that keeps me there, and I think attracts other people, and I think why they've been so successful is because of their authentic and altruistic, volunteerism and giving back.
What has COVID done to your business model from when we started 2020 and everyone had the highest of high hopes?
Yeah, 2020 has been a whirlwind, but for Fahrenheit, our business model, our global headquarters there in Scotts Addition, but a lot of our consultants are out and about at different client sites, and so the model is set up well for different people moving in a lot of different directions. But it's also, we say we're intending to help people overcome challenges and grow, but it's also in tough times. So our model is set up to push through and help other companies push through situations maybe like COVID or other downturns where business isn't so hot, and bringing our folks in to help them kind of navigate those choppy waters sometimes. So really we're set up for these kind of situations as well.
What does the business landscape look like now as opposed to April, May?
Yeah, great question. I feel like need someone from the Fed or somebody in here. I mean,
so you didn't know you were coming in here. What do I need? Nothing. Come on in here. But these are the way you see things, and we always ask people, what does the world look like to you? And so you're out there talking to people in multiple places, multiple locations. Give our listeners an idea of what the mood is compared to, say, 6 months ago.
Yeah, I think people are pretty optimistic in terms of returning to work, in terms of a lot of folks were able to take advantage of some of the federal programs that have helped them stay afloat and continue to run their businesses. I don't think it's a surprise. Some industries, big box retail and some others are probably struggling mightily, but I think overall, especially as we see it on the executive search side and our consulting uptick, things are looking pretty good. I don't know what that lag is going to be, but for now, I think the people have adapted to being remote. People have upped their technology and made it part of the day in, day out. And as much as we can, I don't like saying return to normal, but as much as we can, I think moving forward pretty strongly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice you're listening to is Jay Carpenter of the Fahrenheit Advisors, as well as watchmaker extraordinaire. They have some really great pieces. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The time is 1:14. The program is On the Mic with Mike, 1 p.m. daily here on WJFN Radio. So you're going along, minding your business. How do you become a watchmaker?
Yeah, well, and I hesitate that watchmakers. There's been some issues with other companies around the country. The FTC doesn't like you to say watchmaker if you're not making them here locally. So that's an objective statement. You can Google that. I'd say we're more of assemblers, right? So
okay.
Designers and assemblers, the components that we bring in, and in our world headquarters over in Midlothian.
So how does that business model, how does that business pop up?
So I think it's a long-standing curiosity and fanship of the industry and of the pieces and just of watches in general. And I say I'm an enthusiast. I don't think I think enthusiast is a good word for it. There's folks who are historians, and I'm learning as we go. But it pops up from something that I really love and enjoy tinkering with and designing, and love the history behind it and the traditionalism and the mechanical side of it. I like the fashion side and the style side of it. And then there's kind of that entrepreneurial flavor that's sprinkled on top, and it all comes together and the last few months have helped when you're sitting at home and have some other time to think about and professionalize some of it. So figured why not give it a go? So about a year ago.
So how long did it take for you to go from, I think this is a pretty good idea, to it really going to fruition and hitting the market?
It's a great question. It's a longer story than maybe how much time we have. But so we started about this time last year importing and getting some models and tinkering with a website and e-commerce strategy. And then we were getting ready to go full speed ahead mid-March, late March, and at that point we said, well, let's hold on here. This thing's real, as we like to say. And I always say, I mean, I don't think there's a blessing of this, but a positive that came from the whole situation this year is that it gave us kind of that time to almost like a red shirt year to professionalize our products and our process and our importing, exporting, our logistics, our packaging. I mean, even our content online. So, we had kind of a soft rollout with close inner circle, friends and family, and grew that over the last few months until just about a month, 6 weeks ago, we really tried to blow it out.
How did the exposure with Richmond Biz Sense help?
Oh, huge. I mean, those guys are big shout out to Jack and Mike and the team over there. I mean, they've got a wide
Their
wide
footprint
audience.
is wide.
I mean, it's scary wide. I was actually on paternity leave when it hit and didn't know it was going to hit. And my phone, I had to turn my phone off. I didn't know what was going on. And so, yes, kudos to those guys. If they could ever turn that in, I know I probably can't do that as a journalist, but into a PR agency. I mean, they are read by everyone I know, and everyone sees it, and they did a really great job. So, yeah, a lot of props to them.
On this program, we sort of bounce between ideas and questions. How you guys have been in Scott's Edition for 6 years? Is that Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit's probably been there 4 years, a little over 4.
When they went to Scott's Edition,
Mm-hmm.
what was the idea that this is going to be the hot spot in town?
Yeah, I think we were on the forefront of that. And we weren't the first, right? I think the guys at Spy Rock, and there's some others who were truly ahead of their time, probably. But we were one of the first, and our idea was to plant, and if folks know Fahrenheit, our business and business development, a lot of it is experience-based and event-based, and we have people coming into the office, and it was perfect. And it just, when we were there, we were fortunate that the brewery scene built up and the restaurant scene built up, and other businesses saw that and were attracted to it. And so it was both smart and wise, and then also a little fortuitous too.
Whether it is that or watches, style plays a big part in it. The building that you guys have in Scott's Edition, it draws raves. I mean, it does stand out, along with your timepieces. Let's talk a little bit about the timepieces. Which is the area that you guys have seen the fastest growth with? Like, what's the hot area?
Yeah, so we started our flagship, our early products were mostly chronograph and had a very athletic look. And then folks, what we got from basic market research, wanted to kind of pull back and go for a cleaner look, which you see now with a lot of designers out there. So we're kind of on bookends there. We have a lot of watches that some people would say have a busy face, which I like, and they're more mechanical and have just a lot more going on. And then we also have some pieces that are just very clean, simple
Stylish.
style. Yeah, that they have enough glimmer that they'll catch an eye, but they're not going to overwhelm you.
Alrighty, Jay Crawford here, and let people know how they can get information about the watches.
Yeah, we're at Handley Watches is the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Handley Watches, and then HandleyWatches.com. Pretty straightforward, www.handleywatches.com.
By the way, what is Handley Watches?
Yeah, that's an even longer story. So Handley, I grew up in Winchester, Virginia, John Handley High School, lived right around the corner. My dad taught and coached there for a long time. If you look at Handley, if you pull it up, it's a privately endowed public school, and so it's epic. And I say I am biased, but objectively, if you pull it up, it looks like a college, it looks like a private school. And so there's always this, the preppy rich kids at Handley, and people had this misunderstanding of who and what that community was like. And sure, we had some affluent students, but we also had students who were struggling to get food on the table too.
Yes.
So it really is the grit that exists, and that goes back, again, I mentioned my father as a coach and a teacher there. The folks that I went to school were a gritty working middle class, and so you have this beautiful image that you see, and it's up on the hill, and everyone thinks of that's just pristine. But really the vibe and the culture and the people from my experience, and basically lived there growing up as a kid, it is a little bit different. So that's it all rolls into a big recipe, and like the name, and that's what we stuck with.
Alrighty, folks, Jay is here with us talking about Handley watches. Time's 1:21. We have to go away for a minute. Hold with us. We'll be back shortly.
Hi, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of Finlit and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances? Or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. Finlit is creating a money-conscious community.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bona water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com, or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80floors. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catrice Roots, CEO of Catrice Roots Productions. Are you looking for a videographer to film advertisements for your business, weddings, special events, and many other activities? Then I am the person you want to contact. Contact me by my email at catriceRootsProductions@gmail.com. Also visit my website at catriceRootsProductions.com. Also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Catrice Roots.
Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show, On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier social business enterprise show in the Richmond area. We are the best. You heard what the man said. We get the best and the brightest here with Jay from Handley Watches. So you guys have a celebrity endorsement. Talk a little bit about who endorses Handley and what it means to the community, because we do live in a time of diversity now, and that does say something about the foresight of your organization.
Yeah, so Harold Varner III is our brand ambassador. He's out of a small town called Gastonia. He's, near Charlotte is the town that most people would know. Gastonia, some history there too, but different time. But reached out to Harold, and he has a reputation for being just kind of a hardworking, humble guy. He made national news, placing top 10 in a tournament. The next day, he's mowing his parents' yard. I mean, he's just that kind of humility and just disposition. And we met and talked, and he was a guy who said, could I buy a $20,000 watch? Sure. Could I buy a $200,000? Yeah, he could, but that's not how he came up, and that's not the type of watch that he wants to promote. Not to put words in his mouth, but he wants people to be able to afford the watch and get their hands dirty and mow the yard or go play golf, or made for the active person. So we hit it off and seemed to share a lot of the same values and vibes, and it's been a really good partnership.
So how long have you guys had that partnership?
Just a few months now, so going back to middle of the summer.
Okay, and it says something about your organization, brand new, cutting edge, partnered with the Young Black Golfer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And during these times where it's going across racial lines, income levels, people coming from different backgrounds, that does say something about where we are today, and putting those things, business plays a part in it, but it's professional and their relationships. So, from a price standpoint, where would people find you guys?
Yeah.
You don't have to give out the numbers, but in the middle, and I guess the middle is relative.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's been fun watching what I call watch guys, watch girls, watch gurus come out and expose themselves in a good way, and they're talking about these 20, 30, $40,000 pieces, and that's a whole different world, right? You can get into. I like to put us, we're right around that $200 price point. It's affordable. If you bang it up, it's not going to be the end of the world. Hopefully there's multiples there. It's a watch that you can wear it day in, day out. You can wear it to a black tie wedding if you need to. You can wear it to a business meeting, wear it on the golf course, wear it to the gym. If you have that, you probably have a nice wedding watch or special watch that maybe even a family heirloom in the collection that you wear for really special events. And so, we're, again, $200 price point. We say we're kind of maybe just above that starter watch, but one that you can work in and have multiple of. And if something unforeseen happens, it's not going to be the end of the day.
One of the cool things is watch people when the person looks at your watch, they're like, you can always tell that person. You see them eyeballing your wrist, and they're like, hey, that's pretty nice there.
Yeah.
And for watch people, that does say something. Business owners who are out there who have a concept, who have an idea, give them a couple points of advice on how to make it happen. There you go. Say we.
Man.
There you go. You thought you were coming here for just the easy stuff?
Well, so we talked about Fahrenheit earlier, and I think one of the reasons I fit so well with Fahrenheit, kind of a set sail and steer the ship as you go. Whether for me, I'm not preaching anyway. But I was always told, you're probably not ever ready to buy a house, but you kind of have to figure it out, right? We weren't ready to have a kid. We just had, you figure it out. And so you can sit and wait and do your formal business plan, and that's awesome. And I think some people would probably steer that way. I'm more of a, let's get our hands dirty, probably going to make a few more mistakes along the way early. Hopefully they're cheap and you can quickly pivot. But you just got to go. Again, that may sound reckless or careless, but I'm more of a, get your hands in there, get them dirty, and figure it out as you go.
Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, Jay Carpenter, one last time, how can people find you?
At HandleyWatches.com, or at Handley Watches is the social handle for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
I tell you what, you guys, nice site there, and the watches are outstanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stand out and have people look at your wrist and wonder, hey, what is that? Handley Watches are, that's the way to go. It's Mike, and I approved that a message because I like him. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, on the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Katina Moss who's going to talk to us, and we will talk to you on the other side. Jake, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
And if there's ever anything you would like to let us know, please stay in touch.
There's a news star in Virginia, thevirginiastar.com. Finally, there's a newspaper in Virginia that delivers the unfiltered truth on politics and information you need to know.
I love it. It's about time.
Man, it's great. I read it every morning.
Thevirginiastar.com. Unbiased. No slant, just facts. TheVirginiaStar.com. It's not the mainstream media, it's the truth stream media. So if you're tired of fake news, get real news now. TheVirginiaStar.com.
Attention, Virginia Patriots. Do you want to help save America this November? Join our team. American Majority Action is a national conservative organization that mobilizes citizens to get involved in the political process. We are looking for patriots to join our paid team of door-to-door canvassers now through November 3rd. Save Virginia, save America. It's now or never. Contact us at www.virginiastar.com. am-action.org/Virginia or liz@am-action.org.
Happy Tuesday, I'm Kiara Johnson with your WJFN 100.5 FM weather report brought to you by Dominion Energy. Abundant sunshine in Richmond today, high around 75. For your tonight, clear skies, low 58. Charlottesville, plentiful sunshine, high near 75. For your evening, clear skies, low 53. Fredericksburg, lots of sunshine, high 74. For your tonight, low 57 in a clear sky. This has been your weather report. Please visit dominionenergy.com. Kiara Johnson, WJFN 100.5 FM.
Folks, this is the most important election of our time. America itself is on the ballot. The police are on the ballot as the radicals push to defund law enforcement while doing nothing to deter the looting and violence tearing apart our nation's cities. The fact is, our safety is on the ballot too, and our way of life. That's why I'm urging you to join an effort sponsored by the Job Creators Network. They're working with the biggest conservative host in America, like me. This election is about one thing: turnout. The left has their get out the vote machine now. We need ours. That's why the single most important thing you can do to save our country is go to keepamericaamerica.com. That's keepamericaamerica.com and become a volunteer in the biggest get out the vote effort in history. You'll be given tasks that can make a difference in November. Do a little, do a lot, but please do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com now. That's keepamericaamerica.com.
Are you tired of dating online? Bloom Matchmaking offers a safe and effective alternative. Every match is vetted and background checked. Bloom Matchmaking offers a personalized experience just for you. Check us out at bloommatchmaking.com or give us a call at 804-205-5063. Let Bloom take the stress out of dating. Mention On the Mic with Mike and receive 20% off. That number again is 804-205-5063. Bloom Matchmaking, where love grows.
Thank you, attorneys Justin Lauder and Chris Gatewood at Threshold Counsel PC for sponsoring this program. They offer startup, business, and intellectual property services for innovative and growing organizations. You can find them online at threshold.cc.
Does your home need a makeover? If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. There are primarily 4 ways to fund your business. One way is self-funding or bootstrapping. Self-funding can come from family, friends, using your savings accounts, or even tapping into your 401k. With self-funding, you retain complete control over the business, but you also take on all the risk. Be careful not to spend more than you can afford. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Dessert Diva RVA. Specialty boutique with specialty products, providing custom experiences. Our dessert boutique is open on the weekends. Every dessert made from scratch. We also offer date nights and event decor. Dessert Diva RVA, the official home of Party in a Box.
Hi, my name is Daquan Whitberry, also known as Chef DQ. The restaurant industry is going through a hard time right now. With COVID-19, a lot of things are going on. Restaurants are shutting down. They might have to even close their doors for good. In the past few months, we've seen how life can change dramatically in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, I've created a system, a proven system, that allows restaurants to stay successful in this new way of life. As the owner of RVA Cafe, I would love to help you through these challenging times. Go to redindigofood.com for more information.
Mike with Mike, from Michael Mike, from the Michael Mike, Michael Mike. My name is Isabella and you're listening to My King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily social enterprise business show in the Richmond area. My name is Mike King, and I'm glad to be here with you. I'd like to thank Jay for coming in and talking to us. Really appreciate that. Handley Watches is the company. I'd like to thank our show sponsor, Tom Childry, the credit card guy. But without further ado, it is my esteemed honor to bring to the microphone. This lady is an educator. She has her finger on the pulse of the culture scene in Richmond. Just finished up with Africana. She's all that I know about Hopewell and the Tri-Cities. As I said, an educator. Ladies and gentlemen, Katina Moss, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Mike.
Plus, you're also a proud Richmond Spider.
Absolutely. Go Spiders.
Okay, so Katina Moss, we're going to talk to you about education, culture, where we are today, because you sort of have your finger on the pulse. Tell people who Katina Moss is really quickly.
Who is Katina Moss?
K. Moss and Associates.
K. Moss and Associates. That's our LLC. And we have been excited over the past few months to go through a rebranding as K. Moss Presents to really encapsulate all that we do in the community and reference to college and career attainment, cultural engagement, and also civic engagement. So, and everything focuses around developing strong youth and family programming for the community.
Shout out to our man Diaz Moore as well.
Diaz Moore. Shout out to my business partner Diaz Moore.
Yes.
With the Moore Legacy Foundation.
Sure.
And which supports our STEM programming, our IT fundamental STEM camps that we normally hold at Virginia Union, but COVID had some other ideas this time, and we were not able to, we didn't have the time to pivot toward a virtual or hybrid model with that, but more to come in reference to that. We offer a very exciting and engaging IT fundamental STEM camp for youth ages 10 and up, 10 to about 17, so grades 5 through 12.
You guys do some outstanding work with the STEM camps. Okay, you're an educator. What's the world, how are we doing as a society now with the virtual learning and all of that that's going on now?
I think that, I wish I could remember her name because I would definitely give the sister credit. I was listening to a radio show this morning and I heard the woman's name and there was a blurb that she had on there and she was talking about the difference between education and schooling and how schooling is challenged, but education is still very much available. So one of the projects that I have as a business owner is a concept called the K. Moss Community Classroom, because when I was a classroom teacher, I didn't think that my resources were limited to my classroom or to even my school building. I very much believed that the community was my classroom, and being able to bring resources from the community into my classroom and take my students out into the community was definitely my education model as a classroom teacher. And that's also what I do as a consultant. So I think that just like that sister was saying, I wish I could remember her name, schooling is challenged because of the typical way that we have thought of school, but there's always opportunities for education. And I think that if we look at the world as our classroom, if we look at our town as our classroom, and we don't limit education to the school building, then I think we're doing great. But with everything, we have to get accustomed to, I hate to use the term new normal, but we have to definitely get accustomed to how life is presenting itself at the moment. And so that requires everyone, especially those who are charged with educating our youth, who really is everyone, to make the hard turn toward looking at the schooling process a different way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the voice you're listening to is my friend, superstar Katina Moss. She has her hands in, in a lot of areas here. So you're a proud Jackson Ward person.
I am.
Okay, what does Jackson Ward? Let's talk about the Jackson Ward. We had the pastor from Refuge on last week talking about some of the struggles with Jackson Ward with gentrification. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Wow, that is a huge topic. And
so you only come. We don't. You don't come here for the easy topics.
Right.
We roll out the hardcore stuff.
Well, you mentioned Africana at the top of the show, and I am a very, very proud ambassador for the Africana Independent Film Festival, and I've got to give a shout out to the Africana board member, Melody Short.
With the collective.
With the collective. And so I'm very much excited about joining the Jackson Ward Collective right now. I'm very much excited about finding out more information about that and becoming an active part of that organization, because as someone who is in love with Jackson Ward and is constantly learning about the history of Jackson Ward, I desperately want that, again, to be a thriving community in reference to African-American, Black-owned businesses. And so,
can you hold on to that and embrace all the newness that you see in Jackson Ward?
I think that there is a way for us to work through every challenge. That's the optimist in me. I think that the issue of gentrification everywhere is one that is very complex and creates room for some very engaging, controversial, and challenging conversations. So that said, I think that in everything, where this moment in history brings us to a place to where we are forced to reckon with a lot. And a lot of what we have to reckon with is what steps, especially in reference to policy, what steps in reference to practices have led us to where we are today. And I think that a big part of looking at finding solutions that are equitable, finding solutions that honor history, finding solutions that honor the presence of people, involve us taking a step back to look at some significant decisions that have gotten us to where we are. And any time that we find that decisions have been made that rob people of opportunity, decisions that have been made that exploit people for opportunity, decisions that have been made that have pushed certain people groups away from the present opportunities, I think we have to be willing to go back and take some hard steps back and make it a place where everyone has access. And so I don't know all of the ins and outs of what has happened in the Jackson Ward community over the years, but if it's like anywhere else, there have been some events that have caused challenges in reference to it being an equitable space, a reference to it being a space that in which it is properly invested. And so what often comes up in that conversation is the highway coming through and separating the community, and all of the redlining and everything that has happened to cause there to be a situation where there was blight, there was economic disadvantage, there was lack of investment, there was divestment, and now it's a shining place again. And what does that look like to go back and to reclaim the history?
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Katina Moss here talking. If you'd like to speak with her, you can give us a call, 804-778-8888. If you put your educator hat on, how are we going to attract the next generation of teachers, and what does the teaching profession look like?
Wow. I think that I've always had a unique view of the teaching profession because I was raised by dynamic educators, those always the teachers who go above and beyond to make sure that kids have opportunities. And that came from just my family, on both sides, my mom and my dad's side, growing up in extreme poverty in rural areas of the state. And education being the great escape toward a better economic future. And so I am a second generation college student. I'm the product of first generation college students who worked very hard to make sure that their children would have opportunity. And so, but I ran from what we call the family business for years. And I finally surrendered and became a teacher in the classroom. And so saying that to say that when I started teaching in public school, I already had over a decade of work experience.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you started out in Hopewell, right?
I started out teaching in the classroom in Hopewell. But I already had over a decade of work experience in the private sector, in corporate America, in human services, and youth program development.
Oh, so you didn't run directly to the family business?
I did not run directly to the family business. And so what that did for me was it gave me a perspective of really what education is for. And so there's a lot of, in my experience, there's still, sometimes school doesn't always get that we're preparing a workforce, that we're preparing youth to be productive members of society who can produce in different sectors of society. And so my mindset has always been that I'm preparing the workforce. I'm not preparing students to just be students or to just progress to the next level of education. I'm preparing students for the workforce. And so what does that mean? And so when I look at education that way, I think that we really have to get a handle on the fact that we're preparing students to exist in a real world and to be able to solve real problems and to be able to be innovative thinkers and critical thinkers. And so what does that actually mean? And so there's a lot of controversial conversation that happens in that area because we're not actually preparing students to be test takers. We're preparing students to pass life's hard test. And so there's a difference in how you prepare with that particular mindset. So I think that we have to be ready to take on the challenge of making sure that we're preparing our students, not just for the next level of education, but to be real world members of society who are aggressively addressing the challenges that are present before us.
I brought up Hopewell a minute ago, and shout out to our friend C.J. Walker with the Richmond Children's Business Fair. And as we were talking, I asked her who else had some cool things going on, and she told me to go to Hopewell. And the day I showed up in Hopewell, I met you. And shout out to all the folks who Hopewell sort of gets a bad reputation with a lot of things. But let's give a shout out to some of the folks, starting off with the mayor, Jasmine Gore.
Absolutely.
Terrence Doctor.
Absolutely.
And now there's some, I guess we could get into the political thing really quickly, which they don't know. The eyeballs are rolling, folks. So they defunded a program that you tell folks about the board that you worked on, the whatever it was called.
So you wanted me to come here to share heartbreak.
Yes, that's what we do.
That's what we do. So talk about hard topics. I have to say that as a classroom teacher, I was also an advisor because I was a business and IT instructor. So I was also an FBLA advisor, Future Business Leaders of America. And about 5 years into teaching in public school, I was honestly getting really bored. And I had just got my master's, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a school administrator or not. But I was getting bored in the classroom. And I had worked with FBLA, but because I had been in graduate school and before that a brand new teacher, I had not really unpacked the FBLA curriculum. But I did. And once I really unpacked it, and I say unpack, I mean really paid attention to what it said in the curriculum, not just skimming it so that my students could participate in a competition or skimming it so that I could support my state officer that I was sponsoring, but really meditating on it and reflecting upon what it was. I was like, oh, wow, this is one of the best programs I've ever seen. I fell in love with FBLA. And I fell in love with the opportunity it created for my students. And I fell in love with how it provides for progress and leadership in a local community. And so I was there faced with Hopewell as a community that was in economic trouble and the students always wanting more, And I was able to find the awesome intersection of education and community involvement through FBLA. And with that, my students actually began to speak at city council meetings. They had recommendations for a teen center. And we ended up becoming involved with the Hopewell Downtown Partnership. My students told me, we're going to volunteer here, Ms. Moss. And so I had to join them. And they became these dynamic community leaders. And from that, we ended up advocating for youth services. That's where I met Jasmine Gore, who's now mayor, and we began to work together to get the Office on Youth reinstated. And so we had this dynamic run at a really, really, for me, exciting platform that started with me with my students. Because the students always said to me, Ms. Moss, they don't care about us here. And so being the person that I was, a graduate of the University of Richmond, being always challenged to think critically and determine solutions to problems. That was the emphasis of our liberal school education. And so I wanted to help my students find solutions to the problems in their communities. And that gave me a very, very exciting platform as an educator in the classroom where I could really make school real for them. So that's what we did. So that youth advocacy started with my students. And as an educator, seeing myself as a way to show them how to make change in their community. And so we were able to get the Office on Youth reestablished, the Services Commission reestablished, and I don't know exactly where a lot of that articulation was lost, but before we could ever really get established, it was an embattled ground. And I can only think that it falls in line with a lot of adages that really talk about when you want to make real progress, there's always something challenging that is there to get in the way.
That is true. Hey, the time is 1:53. Katina Moss here. We have to go away and pay some bills. We will be back shortly.
Hi, Chef Michelle here of Mama Chef Cafe, home of the Soul Rolls, located at 10811 Whole Street Road. Give us a call at 804-912-1644 or order online at mamachef.com. Ask about our off-site catering options as well as our online ordering through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Follow us on all social media at Mama Chef Cafe. That's Mama Chef's, Soul south of the James. Mention Mike on the mic and get a free dessert on us. Special rules apply.
Do you want a crystal clear picture of your finances? Dial 804-601-0532 and schedule your free financial review with Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. Find us online at crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com.
Before and after the salon has been active in the Richmond, Virginia community, providing hairstyling services for over 10 years. Before and After is located in downtown Richmond at 1917 West Carey Street. Specializing in weaves, extensions, and growing healthy hair, Before and After provides a full suite of hair care services. Expert stylists Michelle Smith and Alicia Clark are well trained to meet your styling needs at Before and After the salon.
Are you experiencing difficulties with paying your mortgage or bringing your mortgage current? If so, we can help. Give Neighborhood Home and Assistance a call at 1-800-441-6872 or text 757-951-3048 for the immediate response. We have over 10 years of mortgage experience working with some of the largest mortgage corporations in America. For more information, visit neighborhoodhomeassistance.com to schedule your free over-the-phone consultation. Remember, time is one thing we can't get back, and your home is your investment. Act fast.
Oh, hello. I'm Louise Keaton from the Whistle Stop Theater Company. You're listening to On the Mic with Mike. Every day at 1 p.m. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. I'm here riding along with Katina Moss. And so we're at a time period in history now which is very interesting. COVID is ravaging. The economy is in shambles, possibly on the way back, not sure. Give us your idea of where you are on your view of the world that we live in now, from an elitist standpoint to people who are just everyday Joe and Janes.
Wow.
We got 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes to talk about the state of the world. Okay.
Privilege. We'll start with one privilege.
Okay.
Privilege with healthcare.
Privilege with
healthcare. You know where I'm
healthcare.
going with this.
I think about this a lot because as someone who is primarily self-employed and have not had health insurance for a few years, and grew up definitely with health insurance and all those benefits, and to be where I am, and you talked about the elitist to everyday, I feel like I live in that range because, you know, as the Black girl who was trained to be in corporate America, I can definitely float in those circles because I've been trained to be there, and then I can also float in other circles as well along the spectrum. I think that it's time for us to value humanity. And
ladies and gentlemen, that's why I had this program. You're saying it's time for us to value humanity.
Yeah, I do. I picked up a part-time job right coming into the pandemic because everything was crazy and my business is still new. So what does that look like? I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is the world is changing. I'm still nurturing a very new business. My part-time employment is not enough to take care of me. So what do I do? And so I picked up a part-time job, and in that job, I'm in a place where I'm underemployed, and I get a chance to work with folks who I'm educated well beyond there. And so I'm a laborer, which I've never been before. And I say that because I grew up working in my family business. So I never even worked in McDonald's because we had the family business. I worked in that, right? And so to say that, to work in that part-time job and to be a laborer and to have that frontline experience as an essential worker and to see that work has so much been valued upon the debased, no, I have to change the word, the exploitation that my ancestors experienced coming here. And just that this land was created on the premise that we can exploit labor from beautiful people and we can get ahead. And our country has never recovered from that.
That's true. The Times 159, I always say, if you gave a business free labor, didn't have to pay for anything, how long would it take for you to be number one?
Oh my God.
It wouldn't take long.
Right.
Because I could just work you 24/7 and not care. The program is On the Mic with Mike, the Times 159. How can people reach Katina Moss?
We can reach Katina Moss. I am on Facebook and Instagram at KMoss Presents, the letter KMOSS Presents. KMoss Presents. Also, send me an email, connect@kmosspresents.com.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, the program is On the Mic with Mike. I'd like to thank Katina Moss for coming in. As I say, we can do better. Let's, stop with all the foolishness. This thing, Corona, is real. It always helps if you have great health care. That's not like most people out here. As I say, baby, as soon as this is over, I'm on my way home. We're just out here trying to beat Rona. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.
You're listening to WJFN Goochland, WJFN Chester.